Welcome to another low-quality HPC video. I'm here on site where I ate several years ago. So when I was here, I was eating with some friends and there was a big conflict over their group policy. So basically, a big group of friends wanted to sit together and the restaurant had a different menu for that, and people were really unhappy. I, on the other hand, was sitting there the whole time thinking about computing because, well, that's what I do after all. It's nice to be in my little thought bubble when everyone is all unhappy about life or whatever. So let's review this metaphor that we have here. So this is a little bit different than the other HPC kitchen metaphor we have. So in this metaphor, the restaurant is the cluster. Each table is a set, like a compute node, some resources. The diners who come in need to reserve a table, some resources. They sit there, they use it, and they leave. And the goal of the host of the restaurant is basically to try to get as many people through as possible. So to use the resources as efficiently as possible. So there's a whole queue of people coming outside. The restaurant host may rearrange people as needed, trying to maintain fairness. And yeah. So what happens if there's a big group? So first off, there's more communication overhead. So, when there's more people sitting down, like there's more talking to each other and thinking of things. So why is this? So first you have to sit down, you have to take your order. So the order waits for the slowest person to be ready, usually. And then the server comes and needs to take everyone's order. And this is a serial process. So it doesn't happen all at once, but it takes as long, like the sum of the time for everyone individually. Then the order has to be cooked. So presumably there's people in the kitchen who are working in parallel on these things. So it doesn't take as long as it might take for a smaller party because, well, there's more stoves, you can cook like that. But I mean, it probably does take a little bit longer somehow. Then food is brought out to you. Again, it's somewhat of a serial process. People eat, and importantly, people will usually wait until everyone is done eating before the server comes and take your dishes out. So again, this is a case where there's a slowness because of the synchronization. If there's a dessert, then the whole thing waits again. You wait until everyone's done eating, you ask about dessert orders, take dessert orders, go out and back and whatever. So, and then usually everyone leaves at the same time. All the while all these processes are going on, we are taking up the valuable compute resources, as in the chairs, even if a lot of people there are waiting for other people to finish. And if you think about it, the amount of communication possible scales as n squared, the number of people squared. Actually maybe someone should do a scaling analysis of this thing. So if you ask me, restaurants have this valid reason for treating groups differently, because it is sort of like a different thing. It is slower when groups come. So they need to find a way to make it more efficient or whatever. And I hope you can see how this relates to computer clusters. So small jobs are more efficient. There's less communication. They use some resources and can let it go sooner. While big jobs, they tend to have this more communication, more synchronization points and things like that. Also, the big jobs can't be scheduled as efficiently as we've seen in some of the previous videos, because you have to get a whole set of resources together available at the same time. And if you don't have these small jobs to fill things, like to backfill things, you can have a lot of resources go to waste as you're waiting for a large enough set of tables to become ready for the large group coming in. So whenever you're doing your own computing, you can't think of just your job alone. You don't think, how do I get one job together? You think, how do I get the whole big set, like the most work done in the given amount of time with this set of computing resources, not how do I get one big job through as quickly as possible. So why are the big jobs slower? All the same kinds of things we've seen here. There's the communication, the synchronization, the I/O, loading data in, all these kinds of things. So in short, this ends like many of my other videos end. So when you're using large computing resources, you're not just a programmer or a computer doing one thing. You're a manager of all these other resources. And you have to think of the bigger picture, not just one table or one job or whatever. So once again, thinking about computing has helped explain the real world. And I'm about to go eat here again. And Who knows? Am I going to be thinking about competing the whole time? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, see you next time on the next low quality HPC kitchen video.